Well, hey everybody, welcome back to Cheap Brew. I'm Anthony. Today, we're out here in the garage so that we can make an amber ale. And unlike the last two beer videos that I've put out, this one is going to be my recipe. So let me talk you through all the ingredients that I'm going to be using to make this amber ale. For starters, it's a 1 gallon dry malt extract brew, so I'm going to be using 1 pound of Pilsen Light dry malt extract. I'm going to be pairing that up with some specialty grain for steeping. The grain that I'm going to be using here breaks down to about 3 ounces of Crystal 20 barley malt and about 1.7 ounces of Pilsen Light barley malt. For hops, over the course of the evening, we'll spread out 6 grams worth of hops throughout various points in the boil. We're going to be using Centennial hops. And as far as the yeast go, we're going to be using about half a packet of the Cellar Science Cali. Now to get started with this, what we're going to be doing, just like with all the other ones, is we're going to steep our specialty grains. So I've gone ahead and started heating up a pot with 2 quarts of water in it. We're shooting for 160 degrees. Once we get to 160 degrees, we'll plop the grains in there and let them steep for about 40 minutes. Once there's about 10 minutes left to go in the grain steeping, we'll take the other 2 quarts of water in that gallon jug back there and heat it up to about 170 degrees so we can rinse all the sugar off of this grain, and then we'll be ready to add in our malt extract and bring it to a boil. Let's rinse some grain. Now that we've rinsed the grains, the next step is to bring the pot back over to the burner. We're going to turn on the heat, and as we're waiting for the pot to boil, we're going to add in our 1 pound of dry malt extract. Let's get started with the second and third steps here. So I just added our 60-minute hop addition of 2 grams of Centennial hops. That's going to provide the slight bitterness for this beer. I was going for something like a little bit more sweeter and like florally. We're going to do 2 other additions a little bit further down the line here. We're going to do a 20-minute addition of another 2 grams, and at 2 minutes, just before we flame out here, we're going to do another 2 grams as well. Maybe, if we're lucky, it'll be an amber, but I'm still seeing just a lot of yellow in there. We just finished adding our 20-minute hop addition to the boil. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to measure out 2 more grams of this, and then at 2 minutes we're going to put that into the boil. Then we're going to turn off the propane burner and move it off to the side, at which point we will be backfilling to really just right underneath the original fill line, which you can see with all the crud that we got to mark the beginning of the boil. I'm going to use this ice water to fill back to that line there. That's going to get us to the temperature that we'll want to be to pour the wort into our fermentation jug. Speaking of the fermentation jug, everything that is related to that is in this bucket right here. It's about midnight, so I'm really looking forward to finishing this up, but more than that, I'm looking forward to fermenting another beer. So we finished the boil and I've added a little bit of cold water in. I think I may have stopped just a little bit short of the 1 gallon mark, so there's still some potential to cool down there a little bit, but basically got us down to about 120 degrees or so. I'm gonna let some of the trub settle out. There's just a ton of it floating around in there because we did hop additions at pretty much like every 20-minute interval or so. That's a slight exaggeration, but you get my drift. Anyway, I want most of that stuff to have a chance to kind of settle out. So I'll give this a little bit of time, and then it'll go into the fermenter, take a gravity reading, pitch the yeast. We'll be done for the evening after that. So ultimately, I let it sit in the pot for another 20 minutes or so. That brought the temperature down to 115 degrees, and a lot of the trub did settle out, but once you get to the bottom of the pour, it's a wash. Anyways, we have a starting gravity at 110 degrees Fahrenheit of 1.044. And I guess before I pour this back in here, look at how beautiful that color is. That's a little bit on the bright side compared to what I was hoping for, but I think this will be just a nice light amber. I want to get the temperature down just a little bit though. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab one of these little pots here, and I'm gonna make a mini ice bath, and we'll let it sit in the ice bath for a little while so we can get it down to a more appropriate yeast pitching temperature, somewhere closer to 70 degrees. So we've reached the magic number of about 70 to 75 degrees. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull this out. And for the sake of science, we're gonna do a gravity reading again, just to see how much a difference temperature actually makes when using a hydrometer. This is actually really interesting. When we took our first hydrometer reading, we got a 1.044. We cooled it down to 75 degrees. The hydrometer is calibrated for 68. Over the course of that 40-degree window, we went from 1.044 to 1.050, which is definitely not nothing. Substantial? I don't know, but worthy of taking it at the appropriate temperature? Definitely. Speaking of appropriate, it's the appropriate time to empty this back in here and pitch some yeast. And now, without any further delay, allow me to introduce you to our 1 gallon of Cliffside Amber Ale. Why is it called Cliffside Amber Ale, you might ask? Well, I'm gonna save that story until the end of the video when I crack open a bottle of this for the first time. Anyways, I'm gonna stick this away in a cupboard for about a week and let it ferment all those sugars out. It's about 2 o'clock in the morning here, so I'm gonna clean all this junk up, put it away, and then I'm gonna put myself away. Good night, everyone. It's been 12 days since we started fermenting our Cliffside Amber Ale, and I'm happy to report back that fermentation is now done. So tonight, we're gonna put our beer into some bottles. Before we get started with that, I wanna say I took a gravity reading, and our new gravity at the end of fermentation is 1.010, which puts our beer at a nice solid 5.25% ABV. In preparation for the rest of the evening, I've also gone ahead and sanitized 8 12-ounce bottles and 9 bottle caps. I've also cleaned and sanitized a 1 gallon fermentation jar that we're going to be using as our bottling assistant. And I've made a priming mixture that consists of a half a cup of water mixed with 6/10 of an ounce of corn sugar. That just about covers it, so let's get bottling. Well, it took every last drop, but just like that, we are left with 9 12-ounce bottles of Cliffside Amber Ale at 5.2% ABV. The next step for these beauties is to go back into the box where they will bottle condition, which is fancy for become carbonated, and then in a couple of weeks, we'll be able to do a taste test on them, and I'll be able to tell you the story of why it got its name, Cliffside Amber Ale. Anyways, back into the box they go, and then I'm gonna do some cleaning before I go back into my little box. It's been 2 weeks since we bottled our Cliffside Amber Ale, and we are ready to try it for the very first time. So, without further ado, let's get into it. In the last few takes, I've been leaning back and forth between the camera and the beer, and the smell of this thing, is just amazing. Nice balance of grain and floral components, which is because we added the hops later in the brew. So I'm hoping that the hop flavor is not gonna overpower the grain and this end up being more like an IPA, but I'm open to anything really at this point. I just wanna get close to what my objectives are. The next thing I'm gonna do is take a little sample of this and taste it. But before I do that, if you like this cup, you can actually get your own. I've got a little storefront to help kind of support the channel a little bit, www.cheapbrew.store, where you can get one of these cups for 11 bucks. Also, there's some t-shirts on there as well. I keep throwing them up there as I think of the next design or funny fermentation homebrew joke that I want to put out there. But anyways, that's enough of a plug. Let's take a taste of this beer. Oh my fucking God, that's good. You know, it's borderline IPA. Borderline, I would say. But it's not so IPA that it's overpowering. It's a very light carbonation, and the longer it sits in your mouth, of course, you do end up getting that bitterness still, because we did end up using a lot of hops. Wow. I didn't think that I would have so much to say after one sip. I think maybe we'll find out what I have to say after two. It's got a nice mouthfeel. This sucker is thick. I have so much enjoyed being back in the beer making realm of things. Like, I mean, I make wine and meads and stuff too, but this is just really, really good, and I couldn't be happier with how it turned out. Well, that's it for this video. Another success to log in the books. If you want to see how this $10 Kroger grape juice wine turns out, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. And if you like the shirt or the glass, remember, you can always go and buy yourself one at www.cheapbrew.store. Otherwise, drink more homebrew. I'll catch you on the next one. Okay, I almost forgot the reason why I call this thing Cliffside Amber Ale. So it all stems back to previous home brewing that I did at a little apartment complex known as Cliffside. I was ordering the ingredients to make this from More Beer, and since it had been so long, and I'm talking years because I took a big break from home brewing, I neglected to update the address on file with More Beer, and they ended up shipping the ingredients for this to the apartment complex that I no longer lived at. I reached out to them and made sure that I attempted to at least get the $40 worth of ingredients that were for more than just this, but I wanted to get the $40 ingredient box back because it had said it had been delivered. Well, I reached out and they said, we can't find it. So I'm talking like a month and a half later, someone finally finds the box, and this is the message that I got from Cliffside.
Hi, this is calling from Cliffside Apartments. I am just calling in regards to that package you were looking for. It looks like it was delivered to the wrong unit, and whoever received it finally brought it up to us. So we do have that for you here in the office.
They sent the box not only to a place that I didn't live, but to the wrong unit in the place that I didn't live. But shout out to whoever found it and brought it to the office so that I could come and pick it up and introduce this Cliffside Amber Ale, which turned out pretty well. Anyways, that's the story. I named it Cliffside Amber Ale because it's part of the channel and because I filmed all my videos there with the exception of one. Still good. Anyways, drink more homebrew. I'll catch you on the next one.